Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz. And I'm turning it over to Dollar Bill. What was your reaction?
Wow, that crowd. That was my reaction. Was that crowd. Wow. That was the type of energy and crowd that we needed for the week before. For Undisputed. That's an Undisputed crowd. That's what I seen. That's what I thought when I seen that. I was like, wow, everybody was going crazy. Everybody was screaming at the energy. That's the type of crowd we need for Undisputed. You know what I'm saying? When we have one of these great boxing matches, that's what we need. Shout out to Jake. Jake putting butts in the seats. I'm not mad at Jake. As far as the fight goes, that's what we thought, right? But I just wanted to say shout out to Jake, bringing new eyes to the sport. I've seen a couple people hating on Jake and talk about, oh, I can't believe people are watching this or want to come. Listen, more people. It looked like more people came to watch this, and the energy was so crazy for this than it was for one of the best fights that we've been waiting for. One of these undisputed fights that happened last week, and the ones before that. Like, this was different. This was different, and that's what I was talking about. Getting casuals. When you get the casuals, the energy and everything else is different. And just shout out to Jake, man. I'm not so much about the fight because, you know, it was a given as far as I'm concerned. But I just want to applaud him though, because there's a lot of new people. Even people like they don't even boxing is far from their mind, but they talk about Jake Paul and making this is crazy. You know, they even talk about prime drinks and all that, and that's his brother's drinks and all. It's crazy, you know. So yeah,
he was promoting Celsius from what I saw.
Yeah, he was. But they was talking about his brother's drink as well. Like, yeah, you know, it's the brother because they confused. Man, listen, his brother he's also doing his wrestling thing. What was they had SummerSlam or something he was doing, whatever. But man, listen, I just gotta say this about that young man. You know, for all the hate he gets, you know, he definitely brings him out and he tries to help other boxers and fighters and so forth. Look, I know at first a lot of people was thinking like this is spectacles and all this other stuff, but he really is bringing new eyes to the sport, and I'm not mad at you, Jake. Go ahead and do your thing. I just want a crowd like that for one of these real meaningful fights.
All right, G.
Yeah, I'll say his performance was actually decent, you know. Actually, nah, let me take that back. It looked decent, but however, it was Nate Diaz. So I'm like, you should have knocked him out. There's no way you should have went 10 with Nate Diaz. And the reason why is because, like, it made me wonder, like Jake had some impressive left hooks, right? And some uppercuts. Like he landed an uppercut to the body. That was like, wow, that was pretty nice. So it's like Jake has like the fundamentals down packed, right? But there was multiple times where I felt like, all right, Jake's about to empty the clip, but couldn't take Nate Diaz out, right? And I'm like, I don't know. And I know like they kept another thing too, what's my man Sean Porter, man? He's my man's. He is, but they were gashing Nate Diaz, bro. Like a jab. They're like, oh my God, look at that jab. Wow, Nate's moving forward. I'm like, yo, y'all giving him credit for moving forward? Like it was just anything Nate was doing, they were riding him, you know? So I was like, man, it just shows that there's just levels to this type of striking. Like guys who are boxers versus like MMA guys, you see the clear difference. Like, and then another thing that this is where I'm gonna give Sean Porter his credit. When he analyzed Nate during the fight, he was like, Nate is fighting too straight up, where he's not generating no power from his legs. So there's no torque in the punches. It was just like straight up, like arm slaps. And I'm just like, what is this guy doing? Like, is he even trying to win? So I'm always in the back of my mind thinking, yo, is these fights even real? I still be thinking this is like WWE is made up. You know what I mean? So Jake may really be trying to like knock these guys out. But I be wondering if these MMA guys are even trying to knock out Jake, you know? And so that's why I can't really get down with these fights like that. But I do like the fact that I'm watching Jake improve. You know, like he's doing a lot of stuff that, you know, he wasn't doing in the beginning. Like now he's utilizing more angles. Like he's more comfortable with countering, you know. So I thought he did good. But then again, I'm like, oh, it is against Nate Diaz, who's a lot slower. He looks just beat up just from, you know, all the wars that he's been through in the octagon. So that could be the factor that made Jake just look more impressive. So that's why I'm like, yo, it's whatever, man. It's hard to critique when you're going up against a guy that you know is supposed to lose.
All right, TBE.
Improve. I don't know. I didn't see much improvement from Jake last night. And not to hate on Jake. Like, it is, you are what you are at this point. But if you want to become a better boxer and take the sport seriously, you really need to train for like 15, 20 rounds just so you could get you one of them. He was like gassed by like the fourth round. He comes out, he tries to throw all these big punches, and then he gasses out, and then the fighters, like he did drop Nate Diaz in the fifth round, but then Nate Diaz was catching him with punches and things like that. I'm like, it's Nate Diaz, yo. He's not a boxer. He can't hold a candle. He can't hold his water in the ring. That's what I'm gonna say. But Jake, yo, if you really want, like, you got your fan base rocking with you. They come and say, what's up, G?
Yo, you do know Jake's like what, like 6 to 7 fight, bro. He's still a newbie in the game. He's a newbie. This is his first 10 round fight.
We've been reviewing him for over like 4 years now. So 4 years in the sport. You how long you gonna be a rookie? 4 years in the sport.
He was in here for 4 years.
Yeah, like the KSI Logan Paul. He fought on the undercard back then, and that was like 4 years ago. So, Jake, how long you gonna
I
be
just
a
want
rookie?
to make a correction.
You know he wasn't. He wasn't that. You know he wasn't. He didn't have no amateur.
Yeah.
He didn't have no amateur experience. He didn't have. You know that, right? We're getting all this. We're watching everything.
We paying top dollar for
one quick thing though. One quick thing. I just want to jump in.
Go ahead, Kaden.
I don't even think we've been doing this show for 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, I could have sworn we've been doing the show for 3.
I don't even think
3 years.
3 years. Yeah, that's what I said. I think Jake Paul's only been doing this for 3 years, man. And he's doing this.
I thought we was doing this since 2019.
This show?
Yeah.
We started in May 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
Millions.
Almost there. I like the boost on numbers. So whatever, it is what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, Jake, I just feel just take the sport a little more seriously. Like, yes, you got the fan base. Yes, you got the lights on you. But one day it's gonna come where maybe not the top 10 in the weight class you fight in, but maybe like the top 15 gonna call you out. And can you hang with them? That's all I want to know. Can you hang with the top 15 in the sport, the class you fight in? Because you've been training all this time. What's up, G? Yeah, he's still a baby. He's still a baby. He's still walking. Google Gaga, whatever. I don't care.
Just let him cook.
I'm not taking him lightly.
Let him cook his dinner.
I'm not taking him lightly. We've been in sport. Like, if you want to be great, take the sport seriously. If you like getting hit in the face, you like training, you like boxing, this is a dangerous sport. But all I'm saying is, if you want to be great, yes, UFC. I heard you. When I was getting off of work last night, I heard Jake and Nate want to do it in the octagon. Don't do that, Jake. Don't do that. My baby made that mistake thinking she could go in the octagon, and she got So don't go in the octagon, Jake, because now you're gonna delay your progress in this sport. All I'm saying is, Jake, if you really think you're great and you think you're as good as you think you are, take the sport seriously. Train a couple of extra rounds, run a little more, ride your bike. Just you gotta last these rounds. It's every fight. The fourth round, he's sweating, he's huffing and puffing, and then he tries to catch his win, and then it ends. But maybe that's to the I don't know. Maybe that's to the knockout clause.
Ned, quick question. How many fighters you know? And just tell me this off the top of your head. And then after this, I feel like we should just bet it. How many fighters you know fight 10 rounds in their 8th fight? I can only think of a few. Like Billy Lomachenko is one of them.
And
Andy Cruz is one of them. Keyshawn Davis isn't even fighting 10 rounds right now. I don't think.
Exactly.
So I just want to know how many fights. And Keyshawn Davis.
I'm not knocking him for the rounds he fights.
You're talking about his stamina and all types of stuff as if, right? Guys who are normally at his stage in the game fight 10 rounds.
Exactly.
I just want to
fight 10 rounds. Nate, hold on. He wasn't even going to fight 10 rounds. Nate Diaz requested 10 rounds because he felt like Jake would gas out and that would give him an advantage. So it was actually Nate Diaz with thinking of, I've been doing this for a long time. I trust my win. I want to test his. So otherwise, he would have been fighting 8.
Yeah. All right. So I get what you're saying, but all I'm saying is, Jake, if you want to be better at this sport, work on train build your endurance, build your stamina, build your willpower, because sometimes you gas out a little too early and you shouldn't. Train he was like in the beginning of the fight, he came in just throwing reckless punches. I'm like, yo, you're just emptying your tank right now. Don't empty your tank. It's a marathon. Boxing is a marathon. You go 90 miles per hour in the first round.
Do you hear yourself? He emptied his tank in the first round, but he went 10 rounds.
But he went.
What happens when you empty your tank?
You gassed out. On E, empty. Yeah.
So he emptied his tank in the first round. He doesn't go 10 rounds, right?
But I'm saying by the 4th round, he looked like he was exhausted.
Maybe, but he still had something in the tank, right? Because he went 10 rounds.
That's his heart.
You know what just kills me about? Sorry to interrupt you, Ned. The only thing that kills me is, every time I used to critique AJ for doing the very same thing, for gassing out and being tired and stuff and taking rounds off, you used to hate on me. And now you got the same.
But I'm the same place. You can't even see where the place I'm coming from, because I don't like Jake. You don't like AJ. You hate to admit it. I can admit I don't like Jake Paul. But I see what he does for the sport. But if he wants to be in the sport and he wants the casual, the people who like boxing to like him, you have to want to be a part of the sport. You can't just use it as a spectacle every time. I'm gonna fight Conor McGregor next.
But why not?
Fight. Huh?
Why does Jake Paul have to be great and fight the best of the best?
His dollar is not benefit at this point. His dollar won't benefit the sport. It's just benefit.
What are you talking about, bro? He's bringing new faces to the sport.
He's bringing faces to see Jake Paul fight.
No. He's bringing
like a hater, bro.
He's bringing more cat. You know how many more casuals is getting involved in the boxing and watching the Ryans and the Tanks and even the young man that he had that had the only knockout last night. He's what's his name? I forgot it. Austin. He's bringing. Listen, even what he did with Amanda Serrano's, you know what I'm saying? And look at Heather last night, got the most bread she's ever got. Jake Paul, it's hard to hate on Jake Paul. Like it really is.
I agree with Trill.
Like it really, really is, man. And you gotta understand, he only has how many fights professionally?
I don't know. I was
7, right?
7 to 10. We know it's less than 10.
It's less than 10 fights. I know
this is a guy, right? Not like the Keyshawn Davises and all these other guys who went to the Olympics and had the amateur programs, and we didn't have to see how horrible they looked their first 10 fights, their first couple fights. We have to see, not with these guys that we're watching
Mm-hmm.
Jake Paul in front of millions. Guys don't ever get they get their first in front of millions. He's getting the scrutiny in front of millions of it being an amateur. He didn't come from this, wasn't doing this when he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't doing this when he was 5 years old. You got other people in there like the Tommy Fury kid. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even like you washed him. And they were boxing longer. Nah, you can't hate on. I get it, man. Jake might rub people the wrong way, man. You know, the problem child, but the problem child, man, is putting butts in seats.
You're just a hater. That's all it is, Ned.
It takes a hit.
Matter of fact, shout out to the problem child. The problem child came out with The Voice last night. And you know what the problem child is doing? He's letting his voice be heard as well. Because he's putting these butts in the seats, and he's bringing new eyes to the sports, and he's helping out fighters get more bread than they ever got bread before.
That's a fact.
You got people who got that got paid that lost money on their championship fights when they won belts, and he's helping them.
All right, and you got it. His rating on BoxRec is a 1-star, and then maybe I'm invested. I got a little too much hate invested to him. He lost to Tommy Fury. And that's smoothing the hate. Like it's lesson. I get it. He's human, but I just want to see him take the sport a little more seriously. That's all, yo.
It's serious, yo. Listen to
what does that mean?
Asking for him to do. All he does is box. He don't do no videos no more. He doesn't do none of that. All he's doing is boxing. He moved all the way down to Puerto Rico, and he made a whole training facility. All he's dedicating this last is to boxing. All he's doing is eat, sleeping, and pooping boxing. But
I agree with that because it said he's from.
I don't want to make it seem like
he resides in Puerto Rico. I didn't know what that was.
But I don't want to make it. You have your right to your own opinion, TBE.
Yeah,
I don't want to make it seem like you crazy or I'm coming at you a certain way. You have your right to your own opinion. Yeah. I'm just trying to show you the other side, my brother.
Got it. No, I feel you. Thank you. I'm on one side of the fence. You making me try to see the other side, and I get it. I respect it. Shout out to Jake Paul. Keep doing your thing.
All right, look, I understand where the resentment for Jake Paul comes in because it was pointed out during this discussion. You have like Keyshawn Davises. You have people who actually went through the amateur system and people who went to the Olympics and they're actually what we would consider prospects. And they're not headlining pay-per-view cards. They're fighting on undercards or they're fighting on regular television. And then you got this guy, Jake Paul, who is in his 7th or 8th fight, and he's doing it on pay-per-view, and he's doing it in front of millions. And he's even surpassed some of the more seasoned professionals who are champions. They're professional champions who can't do what Jake Paul does. But people are missing a key element here. And I think this is what people need to start focusing on. Jake Paul leveraged his YouTube celebrity to become a boxer. So where most people look to promoters to promote them, right? So think about it like this. You start off as an amateur. You spend all this time training, right? But by the time you're going to go pro, right? By the time you want to go pro, you have no fan base. So you rely on Top Rank, PBC. You rely on these people to get you exposure. Jake Paul didn't need their exposure because he already had millions of fans when he started fighting. And it was Eddie who put KSI and Logan Paul on the zone, which gave them even more exposure. And people tuned into that fight. And then Jake Paul started fighting. But what happens is these guys have millions of fans anyway. In fact, on YouTube, they have like 20 million plus. It could be even more than that. I just remember when they first started fighting, I heard 20 million, right? So 20 million people already know this dude before he's ever had a professional fight. I would say if you want to talk about fighters who 20 million people know, it's probably Canelo and Anthony Joshua. And now we're getting, I don't know, is there another one? I don't know. You know what I mean? Probably those two only. So they don't need the promotional companies. If anything, instead of hating Jake, and see, this is a problem, and this is a message I'm about to give you. Why not learn from Jake? Why not learn from Jake? Jake just gave you a blueprint. Wouldn't it be nice if by time the next really great prospect was going to turn pro, he or she already had 20 million followers? What would that do for the sport of boxing? Imagine that. Imagine by the time Vasily Lomachenko was ready to turn pro, he had 10 million subscribers on YouTube. He had 10 million followers on social media platforms. He'd be fighting on pay-per-view out the gate too. See, but you're looking at it from the wrong way. You're looking at it from all this place of hate and whatever. He just gave you the blueprint. Fighters don't spend enough time building themselves up, promoting themselves. And I get it because you got to train. And like Trill said, Jake ain't doing all the stuff he used to do. So he benefits off of his childhood celebrity. Fine. But that's why he headlines. That's why he can do these things. But in terms of boxing, he's still up and coming. So to compare him to, I get it. When you see a fighter on pay-per-view, they're more talented than Jake Paul. I'll give you that because they had to go through the ringer to get to pay-per-view. Jake Paul, on the other hand, had the celebrity before he got into boxing. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to compare Jake Paul to what you saw Terrence Bud Crawford do, oh yes, you're going to be like, he needs to do more. He's not looking like Terrence Bud Crawford. But the thing is, he already had that fan base. That's why he's on. So, is he bad for boxing? Come on, man. Let's stop the cap. That's like saying a one-hit wonder is bad for music. Is a one-hit wonder bad for music? No, I'm gonna take it there. Because when I was a kid, certain songs, right, will come out like, like never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Like that's one hit wonder. That dude's one hit wonder. But how many people like that song that listened to his genre of music and found other great songs that they liked and started listening to that music because his one hit? And still, when his one hit come on, people get down. You know what I mean?
Sure. Soul to soul. All they got is however do you want it.
Think about it, but my man just bust a move. How many people got turned on the rap from that? What's my man Positive K? I got a man, but your man ain't me. I'm a kid listening to that. That was rap to me when I was younger. So when your man don't treat you like he used to, I kick in like a turbo booster. You know what I'm saying? That was rap to me back in the day before I discovered the hard stuff. When I started hearing Thuggish Ruggish Bone and all that, that's when I was like, oh, hey, this is a different time. Never seen a man cry to us. I seen a man die. I was like, oh, this is now I'm on to the hard stuff. But it started off with Positive K and all that. This is all I'm saying. All it takes is that exposure. How many people started listening to rap because of Eminem?
Guys.
Oh, now parents just don't understand.
Hey, we all said this before.
Started listening to rap after hearing parents just don't understand. Jake
and Logan, they boxers, but they the Manili Vanilli of boxers. That's all I'm gonna say.
But Manili and Vanilli ain't really saying these dudes really fight.
Yeah,
they do.
These dudes really fight, and that's what it is. You can't take it away from them. Even if they're the least skilled, most plain Jane. Look, bro, I can't even tell you. Sometimes
people won't even go outside, and fight in front of just one person.
That's what I'm saying. He's fighting in front of millions, bro.
This kid got 20 million subscribers on YouTube. These people are coming out to see him lose. Do you hear them in the crowd? F you, Jake. They coming out here to watch him lose.
Your hero came to New York, had a panic attack. You know what I'm saying?
What's your mouth, G?
And this is that's the guy who's been in the Olympics. That's the guy who's been in the Olympics and didn't have to have. You know what I'm saying? Now this is listen to what Jake is doing right now. Look at what Jake is doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, nobody's saying that he's out here and he can beat Canelo or you know what I'm saying? He's gonna knock out AJ his next fight. Nobody is saying that. But you gotta respect what he has done. And listen, you know how embarrassing it is? And then he's going out in front of all these people, putting it all on the line. You gotta respect that. You gotta respect it. And then if he gets knocked out, he gotta by more people. He's gonna be critical. He's gonna be a meme. You know how hard they gonna come down on him?
No, I respect that. I had that.
No, that's 100. And just to finish, it may start off soft, like pause, but it may start off people just.
As long as you finish strong, you feel me? You know what I'm
What I was gonna say is like, let's find a better way to interpret that. All right, right?
Start off slow.
When I fell in love with hip hop,
It's her fault. You know what I mean?
yeah. Like when I fell in love with hip hop, it wasn't the hardcore stuff that I listen to now, right? It was like you said, Parents Just Don't Understand or Positive K, all the little light songs. But then once you discover Scarface, I Seen a Man Die, you discover Tupacalypse now, you know, you discover Soldier Story, you discover all this music, and then you're like, oh, then you get to the real stuff. So some of these casual fans, they're starting off with the Jake Pauls, but getting the exposure to Jake Paul, eventually they're going to be like, you know what, let me watch another boxing match. And they're going to see TC. They're going to see Canelo. They're going to see those guys, and they're going to be like, yo, this is what it is. And they're always going to remember Jake is the one who opened that door for them. And the thing about Jake is reaching the younger crowd. Because we already had a certain demographic who's in with boxing, but what MMA was doing is MMA was taking the younger crowd. They were more fixated on MMA, but now you got Jake coming in, you got KSI, you have these guys because what they're doing is they're bringing something different. They're bringing their millions of subscribers to the sport of boxing to watch boxing, and these guys duke it out, make some money, and generate content. They're not infringing upon boxing at all. So for me to say he's ruining the sport is cap. Because how can people watching boxing ruin boxing? That's like saying someone making a hit in your genre of music is ruining your music. And we've heard that, like T-Pain ruined music or whatever. Hey, bro, if people buying the music, they buying the music. So I'll close by saying this. I thought his performance it wasn't the greatest thing. I saw improvement, but he was fighting Nate Diaz. He dropped Nate Diaz, and after that, it just was kind of inside fighting, slugfest or whatever. I'm not going to dub it the greatest performance I've ever seen, right? But I'm not going to be overly critical of someone in like their 7th professional fighting in front of millions of people because I know that's not the norm, right? He's like Nico Ali Walsh. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he's like. You know what I mean?
The grandson of goats. No, what was his name? The goat. What we called him?
His name is none of that. You just G, I got the floor. Watch your mouth, G. Don't interrupt me, G. Don't interrupt me.
Like the grandson of goat. Dog, you know what I'm saying?
Don't interrupt me, G. Nah, I'm done, bro.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know you rocking with. It's the Boxing Bros. And shout out to Special Ed. I get it made.
Yeah, that was a joint too.